So I hope I am perfectly audible and my screen is properly visible to all of you. Just put very much. So guys, here we have session for data analytics and that will be helping to build your career in this particular field. And you will letting you know some of the insights, skills, and for the success stories, you can please visit to our learningacademy.com where you can find multiple success stories from multiple candidates. So hi, I am Nitin Gupta, and I've been working as a delivery head on BI services in CCS Global Tech for the last 10 years. Right now, I'm in Costa Rica location, Central America, and I basically have gone through different kind of projects related to data modeling, ETL visualization, and SEO solutions. And I have earned some professional certification and assisted multiple clients and consultants across the US, India, Costa Rica, and the UK location. So now we are starting our session, and let us set the agenda first. So first we will see what is data analytics all about. Because guys, if I'm talking about the data analytics, it's a very, I would say buzzword, right? It's a very big field. So there are multiple kind of, I would say technology solutions are there, right? Multiple techniques are there. And now basically we have the AI machine learning in the picture, right? So now sometimes it makes us confused. Hey, in which direction we should go on, right? What kind of roles basically we can have after doing data analytics, right? Or after completing data analytics. Okay. So we will let you know something about this and solve your queries also. We will let you know something about the data analytics bootcamp program. What are technology modules which are utilized in this program? What are the key elements of the bootcamp? And ultimately, once you are done with this bootcamp, what you will achieve, right? So this is something about the agenda for today's session, and let's go step by step and go through it. So guys, if I talk about the data analytics, it empowers organization to turn raw data into actionable insights, driving strategic decisions and fostering innovation. Okay, let us cover some bullet points and then I will explain every bullet point one by one. So this is a multidisciplinary approach that accumulates practices and principles from the areas of statistics, mathematics, computer engineering, artificial intelligence, and data management to analyze huge volume of data. So data analytics can improve the accuracy of the predictions and increase profitability of the management. And it can reveal the gaps and provide the greater insights about the purchase decision, customer feedback, and business processes. Okay. So let us go one by one about all these things. So data analytics is basically what? Which every organization today want to utilize because no organization today can survive without what? Analyzing the data. So this is not a new thing if I'm talking about data analytics. It has been done in the past also, but initially it was done without any computers, right? When we have all the work were done by the pay slips on the paper, right? But now, once we have got our data into the system, if I talk about this data analytics came to the picture from 2004, 2005, when we have got exponential growth of the what data in that particular from that particular year, right? So since 2000, if I'm talking about the last 25 years, right, most of the organization which were initially not computerized, right? If I'm talking about the banks, if I'm talking about other sales outlets, right? If I'm talking about other organization which were initially working on the papers and pen, they started to utilize what? Computer system to store the data and putting the data into different kind of format. So initially, if you know that Excel was a very popular format, it still is a popular format, right, for storing the data. But when we have got the most of the data point is stored in the Excel, it has got a limitation, right? Or similar kind of spreadsheet. So now we started to utilize bigger databases, right? For example, we have SQL Server, we have Oracle database, we have MySQL database, right? And at that point of time, cloud computing was not present like Azure or AWS. So then this technology became more cheaper, right? The computers, laptops, right? Everything was available and accessible to general public also, right? They were performing all those transactions with the help of computers later on the mobile phone, right? So whatever things you're doing today, whether you're making a phone call to a person, right? So to which particular stakeholder you have called, right? What's the duration of the call? What's the location? Every single thing is getting stored in a particular database. Second, let's just suppose we are talking about the banking, right? So whatever transaction you're doing with the help of ATM withdrawals, right, or deposits, everything is getting stored in the database. So today, if I'm talking about anything you do, even you basically do a call in a call center, right? You make a call in a call center for any query or something like this, even that information getting stored in a database to further checking the process and making further improving the process in the company. So today, every single activity that we are doing with the help of mobile phone, with the help of laptops, with the help of anything, say electronic devices, they are getting stored in what? In the database. So the information that was getting stored in database, it was called OLTP. Now I'm coming to technical point of view. OLTP stands for online transaction processing. So data was getting stored just like that, right? Now, later on, what organization thought, why don't we utilize this data to basically get some what knowledge and make future prediction, right? Just for example, let's take an example of Walmart. So, so we have, if I talk about Walmart, they basically sell multiple products, right? In a particular year, and they have multiple kind of customers available for those products. So, if Walmart want to analyze the data about their products, like which product is more popular, which product is less popular, right? If there's any XYZ product which is popular in a particular segment of the year, let's say quarter one or quarter two, but not getting very popular in quarter three and quarter four, right? There might be some products which are very popular in a region A, but they're not very popular in the region B, right? There might be some of the products which are very popular among what age-wise, right? If I'm talking about. So they're very much popular among the male but not in the female, right? Or age wise, right? So in this case, if they are able to get some information from that data regarding the sale of the data, regarding popularity of the data, regarding the location where that product is more popular, less popular, they are able to better analyze the decision, right? And based on that, they will basically order products in the location and the time zone, right? So in this case, what the purpose of data analytics? It empowers the organization to turn raw data into actionable insights, driving strategic decision and fostering innovation. So if we are able to analyze that data in depth and with the help of some machine learning algorithm, which are very popular into the picture, like Python, with the help of Python, we are basically also make some predictions for the future, right? So this is the purpose of what? Data analytics in simple word. Right now, there are too many devices come to the picture which automatically basically store data based on the, if I talk about some movement and activities, right? So every single thing, every single operation that we are performing today with those devices. For example, if I'm talking about, let's suppose we have the smartwatch, right? Okay. So the information about the smartwatch that's captured inside the particular small database, right? Let's suppose we are driving a car, right? And there might be a particular parking area. So the parking lot meter capture the information from the car, right? There might be possibility that we have some speed limit on the road and we are driving a car. So sensors capture the what car speed. So all that information is captured into a database, right? If I talk about other thing, for example, electricity meters, right? Water supply meters, black box of the aeroplane, all that information has to be stored in a particular location so that information can be properly analyzed and based on that a decision can be made. So this is a multidisciplinary approach that accumulates practices and principles from the area of statistics, mathematics, computer engineering, artificial intelligence, which is getting very popular right now, guys, and data management to analyze huge volumes of data. Correct? So if you really want to become a data analytic expert, the important thing is what you should be having very good idea about the statistics in mathematics. These are the core area, and with the help of that, we are able to provide much better information to our stakeholder, managers, client, and they can utilize this information for the future prediction. Out of these mathematics and statistics is a very important thing, right? The more formula we know about the standard deviation, about the mean median mode, I'm talking about very basic formula right now. But if you have very good knowledge about the different algorithm of these statistics, like state of, if I'm talking about the ANOVA and every single thing, right? So in this case, you are able to analyze the data in a very better way with the help of those formulas. Okay. Data analytics can improve the accuracy of the predictions and increased profitability for the management. So, if we basically provide the right information to our customer, to our managers, to our stakeholder, so with the help of that, it can be a very profitable decision for the management for the future. So, based on the historical analysis of the data, like I have given the example of Walmart, we are able to utilize that information for the future prediction, right? So it can reveal the gaps and provide the greater insights about the purchase decision, customer feedback, and business processes. So you can see four main areas over here, like identify the changing pattern, right? So for example, if I'm talking about the trend, so trend is a very common word which is utilized in data analytics. So it can be on the product side, it can be on the fashion side, it can be on any XYZ side. So we can observe the sales process of a mobile phone, electronic devices, clothes, cars, and we can identify the changing pattern in the customer behavior, right? The same apply for the restaurants or hotels also, right? Then enhanced efficiency. With the help of that, when we perform data analytics with the help of different algorithms and statistics and mathematics, right? With the help of that, we can provide better efficiency. It can be helping in the forecasting and planning for the future. So we can put the right product, right food, right mobile phone, right model, right trend in our what organization, right? And this will be also helping us to innovate new solutions. So, a strong integration of data analytics will enhance an organization core competencies to open business opportunities and become more effective. So, guys, it's a very competitive word, right? If I'm talking about every single organization, they want to what they want to go for, right? They want to retain their existing customer and they want to make new customer. How it is possible? So this thing is only possible if they understand the customer behavior, right? So if we have the more information about this statistics, this data pattern about the customers, that what they want, we have to analyze the historical data. So if suppose you have a 10 years of historical data about the customer behavior, you know how the trend has got changed in the last 10 years regarding the products, regarding the fashion, regarding every single thing, right? So with the help of that, we are able to provide a right information to our stakeholder with the help of BI tools, which can be Power BI, which can be Tableau, and these tools can also get better by the integration of the machine learning algorithm, right? So for example, if some of you have worked in Power BI, we can utilize Python and R algorithm in Power BI to provide prediction algorithm in Power BI to provide the information to the client, right? So this is something about what the data analytics. So again, this is not a very small thing. If I'm talking about data analytics, so there are multiple tools, multiple technologies are included to provide a right answer to the client. And this is something what is difficult. So we have to go step by step. We have to first understand data, how to arrange the data, how to model the data, how to integrate data, how to clean data, how to standardize the data, and then we can put a right algorithm on the data to provide the answer to the client. Then data has to be stored where? Shall we store data in an on-premise system, which is the local system, local server? But now, for the last 10 years, you have seen that cloud computing is getting very popular, right? So we have AWS, we have Azure, we have Google Cloud Platform. Apart from that, we have some other cloud platform available from Oracle and other vendors. So what's the benefit of that cloud, right? How to store data into the cloud? Then what benefits it's offer for the data and for the client? And then on this data, how can we put what AI and machine learning to provide the better visibility of the data to the client in a most simplest way. So all these things has to be go in a step-by-step manner. It is not like I was one-step process, right? So today we will let you know something more about it, that where you can start from, right? Which path you have to choose, which what technology we have right now in the picture, and how we can go for step by step on those technology to become a data analytic expert, right? So next is what? Trend. So if I talk about trend, first growing use of the predictive and prescriptive analytics with the AI for automated insights. So guys, as we discussed right now, data is not only utilized by a simple historical analysis, but we have to utilize some kind of smart analytics on the data, and we have to utilize some AI tool on the top of the data to provide the answer to the client. Just for example, so let us say suppose you have data stored in a particular database. So database is what? Collection of multiple tables or collection of multiple dimension fact table in data warehouse where data is getting stored. How to extract that information? First option, that we have to make a GUI platform, graphical user interface platform, where you can enter ID, you can enter password, you can get the information. Just for example, banking application, right? So if you log in into a banking application with your ID and password, what you can see the bank statements, you can see your transaction history, right? You can see when you log in last time, you can see your saving details and multiple things, right? This is the one way. Now, if I want my client to utilize data in more simpler format, what I can do, I am saying, hey, this is my Excel file, this is my database, and you guys can type any question on the top of this data and you will get the answer. Wow, this will be great, right? So just for example, if I have data stored in for one of the business house, let's say Walmart again, right? So Walmart's data is stored in a particular data warehouse, and if I give you the ability, hey, type your question in most simplest manner without worrying about it, right? That's the English language. What you can type, hey, my question is what? Can you show me the most popular product in the last quarter in California? So when you type this question, with the help of this question, data will be extracted from the data warehouse and will be shown to you. You can also put more smart searches. For example, if I want to see some average sales, if I want to see maximum sales in a particular region by product, by city, by gender, right? Something like this. So when I'm putting this kind of a natural language English, right, on the top of the data, I think my stakeholder doesn't need to learn any language, right? So and the stakeholder who is a non-technical person can utilize simple English language to type the question, getting the answers, right? On the top of that, if I'm using a dashboard tool like Power BI, it is also supported by Power BI. So let's say suppose I want to see this information as a pie chart. So what I will type in the question, hey, can you please show me the average sales of this product in California as a pie chart. So if I type this question, my Power BI will make a pie chart, and based on that, whatever question you type, it will provide you the answer. Wow, right? So this is something right now going on as with the help of artificial intelligence tool, AI tools, right? So what AI says that hey, every non-technical person who basically doesn't need to use any kind of what language for getting the answer. Query language for getting the answer, SQL or something. He can simply type the question, getting the answers. But he's the stakeholder. But you have to develop this tool, right? So you have to learn first what is AI all about, how to utilize AI tool, artificial intelligence, right? Um, how to basically go for generative analytics, right? Gen AI, like ChatGPT and Gemini, right? Okay. So we have to learn first some languages to understand the depth of the AI, and then basically we can incorporate those tools on the top of the warehouse, on the top of the Excel, on the top of the databases. So right now, Microsoft is also providing some inbuilt AI tools like Copilot, right? You might have heard about the Copilot right now. The Copilot, you can find the integration of Copilot in all the MS Office tools like Word, PPT, PowerPoint, even the Azure, you can find this Copilot. So what Microsoft say, hey, you don't have to even learn this. You just learn Copilot and ask the question to Copilot, to Copilot give you the answer, like ChatGPT. So things are getting more simpler and simpler. Okay, things are getting simpler for whom? Stakeholder. But being a developer, you have to first learn how to make agents in Copilot, right? For all these particular database and data warehouses, how to integrate it. So as I told you, data analytics became more smarter these days with the help of AI and machine learning. Okay. Then increased need for the real-time data processing for the immediate decision making. So guys, so data is captured from multiple location. There might be a possibility. So I'm giving you example of a recent project we have gone through for a client called Cap Metro. And so this client is in Texas, Austin, Texas. So this particular client, they had data stored in different data sources about the vehicles, right? So, and there were cabs, there are metros from Capital Metro, right? So we have to find out the ridership detail and we have to get the information about the odometer. We have to get the information about, I would say, in that way, that which particular riders are going on which direction, whether they are using cabs, whether they're using metros. So all the information was extracted from different data sources. So in this case, they want a real-time data processing for the immediate decision making, right? So we have to extract the data from all the sensors which are stored in the different cabs and metros, which are utilized for capturing the real-time data, then storing this data into a data warehouse or data mart, and then extracting this information for the real-time use cases. So this is one of the most important part today right now. So we want a real-time use cases, real-time data processing. So as soon the information is captured, it has to be integrated into a data warehouse and immediately visible to the client for the future prediction or future analysis. Third is what? Self-service analytics, enabling non-technical users to leverage data insights. Now, what is self-service? Self-service means what? I want to empower my business user so that without being depending on other, they can utilize a tool by themselves and with the help of that tool, they can leverage data insights. So we have such some of the tools available in the market. Again, the most easiest tool I can say right now is Power BI for data analytics and the business intelligence. So this tool basically we can utilize for end users so they can empower themselves to make simple dashboards. They can share the dashboard to stakeholder. They can decide the frequency of refreshing the data. They can basically decide which stakeholder has to be added, which stakeholder has to be removed from the reports and dashboards. So this is again a very good use case for data analytics. And with the help of some simple BI tool, we can provide the knowledge to the end stakeholders. Emphasis on the secure, compliant, and ethical data use due to regulatory pressure. What is the use of data analytics if my data is not clean, if my data is not secure, if my data is not standardized, right? So let's say suppose I have captured data from 10 Excel file from the end client, but end client has done some mistakes. What kind of mistakes? There might be a possibility that let's say there is a column called email ID, right? Now in the email ID column, there was some missing email ID signature, like at the rate sign was missing or something like this, right? There was some of the information that became duplicate, right? There was some of the column where the value was not present, it was blank or null, right? So once I will get this kind of data, data is not clean. So if my data is not clean, how can I do the analytics, right? So in that particular case, we have to focus on what? Ethical data, compliant data, and secure data due to the regulatory pressure and all the authentication in terms of multi-factor, in terms of compliances, which company follow like HIPAA and SOC 2 to make sure that data is completely secure because data is the most important entity for what? Company also and client also, right? Growth of edge computing and IoT analytics, especially for the industry like manufacturing and logistics. So, guys, in the manufacturing industry and logistic industry, they are using Internet of Things devices, IoT devices, where sensors are there which automatically capture the data based on the like suppose there's a vehicle, right? So once the vehicle leave a manufacturing unit, there might be a sensor which capture the truck license plate number that which truck have left the logistic facility, right? Similar way, which truck have arrived in the logistic facility, right? So all these IoT devices and similar for the parking meter example I have given to you, right? A smartwatch example I have given to you, right? Sensors which are utilized to capture the speed of cars and other vehicles on the highway to make sure that they are safe and secure, and this data is captured to find out which cars and which vehicles are overspeeding. So all these IoT devices basically have also providing the exponential growth in terms of data. So if I talk about on average, which let's suppose is a very popular freeway in US, and there might be hundreds and thousands of vehicles goes on daily basis, right? In this case, if there are some devices like sensor devices which are capturing the speed of every vehicle there and other details, you just think about it how data is growing fast in that particular data warehouse, which basically is utilized for what such kind of vehicles and cars, right? So all these IoT devices are also contributing a lot on data growth, and this data has to be analyzed in the proper manner for different use cases, right? So these are some of the trends that you can basically see over here. Apart from that, you can see one more very important thing called what data governance, right? So I believe you might have heard this word data governance also in uh, a different sector. So data governance is what? How to basically make the data in a proper manner, how to store the data in a proper manner, how to provide access of data into the proper manner to the stakeholder as per the roles, as per the responsibilities, with the help of some tools. So there are different tools available in data governance. For example, you might have heard about the Azure Purview tool, Informatica tool, IBM tools. So different tools are there in market which basically provide you the facility of what? Data governance. So data governance is a very separate field in the data analytics, which is helping you to rearrange, store, and providing proper accessibility of data as per the rules and as per the authorization. Okay. So again, guys, again, you might be thinking, oh, too many things, quite confusing, right? Yes, sometimes it get confused. So if you see the AI practice, machine learning practices, real-time analytics, IoT analytics, right, data democratization, which is the self-service analytics, data governance, there are too many things, too many options that comes into data analytics. We can't become a master of every single thing, guys. That is not possible. Just for example, if I'm talking about data governance, I'm still learning data governance practice for the last 2 years, but still I'm not done, right? Again, if I'm talking about the AI and machine learning, so AI and machine learning integration is not a small thing. You have to be very much expert in Python, machine learning, and different kind of algorithm. Apart from that, you have to utilize different OpenAI tool and their coding to make sure that you're very much expert on the artificial intelligence, right? If I talk about the real-time analytics, you have to make sure that you are comfortable to integrate data into a data warehouse from ETL tool. Now, what is ETL tool? Extract, transformation, and load. Now, these two will be helping you to integrate data from different sources, putting data into a centralized location after performing data standardization, data cleaning, right? And then we have to utilize this data from BI tools like Power BI and Tableau to provide the answer to the client in terms of reports and dashboard. And we have to make sure these reports and dashboards are refreshed, updated after every second, because we have to provide real-time information to my client, right? This is a separate practice. So, guys, if I talk about the use case of data analytics, there are too many use cases. So, we have to make sure on which direction we have to go and how we can basically learn a particular technology. Because again, we have different technology in data analytics, right? You can learn this tool, you can learn this technology with the help of different ETN tool. For example, if I'm talking about Informatica, If I'm talking about the Microsoft, Oracle have different tools, right? So there are too many vendors which offer different tools to learn this technology. So you might be confusing which vendor we should choose to learn this what data warehouse and data analytics. So our focus right now is more on the Microsoft technology, guys, right? Because that's the technology we generally use in our training program. And with the help of Microsoft tools like Azure, SSIS, then Power BI. So this combination basically provides you really good, I would say, strength and learning with the help of some languages like Python, PySpark in the Azure to make sure whatever data we are storing is properly stored in a data warehouse and properly analyzed and properly standardized with the help of some machine learning algorithms, right? So increasing need to integrate disparate data sources for a holistic view. So data is captured from different data sources, as we discussed. It might be Excel file, it might be SQL Server table, it might be Notepad, it might be API, it might be some kind of I would say a CSV file. So when we are capturing data from different sources in different format, we have to perform a kind of standardization so we can store the data after integration from these different sources in a common format. Because until your data is not getting stored in common format, I cannot do what? Any kind of analytics on this kind of data, right? So next is what data analytics career opportunities. So let me just show you some of the career opportunities and the roles, and I can discuss one by one, right? So first, I'm talking about the data analyst, right? Uh, there are some prerequisite guys for different kind of roles. Let me tell you, right? So if you want to become a data analyst, you should be having a good understanding of data. So it can be even from Excel. I'm not jumping right now to Oracle SQL Server, right? Even if you have good knowledge on which tool, Microsoft Excel, and Microsoft Excel became very smart for the last few years, right? Okay. So this tool can also help you to understand data in different way. And Excel provides you lots of business formulas, statistics formula, mathematical formulas, right? Where you can put all the, I would say, business logic with the help of those formulas. Even Excel provides some integration with Visual Basic for the programming. So you can learn this tool and then we can basically utilize the data of this tool with the help of some BI. So let's say Power BI. So guys, if you do not want to, if your inclination not towards the programming, if you think C Sharp, Java, Python, because they are typical programming languages, right? You should be having very good business logic to develop the program. But if you're programming, you think you're not your forte, you don't think you can be a good programmer. What you can do, you can learn some database like SQL Server, Excel, right? And then use Power BI because Power BI is very simple to, yeah, it also contains some business formula with the help of DAX like Excel. But with the help of these three combination, Excel, SQL Server, and Power BI, and if you have good understanding of data, you can become a good data analyst, right? Second is what data engineer. Now this is more typical job if I'm talking about how. So what's the data engineering job? Data engineering job is what? To create a data warehouse and storing data after integrating from multiple data sources. Just for example, right? So let's suppose that we have captured data from different sources. So I was giving the example initially. Let's suppose there is a particular company. So they are storing the data directly into a SQL Server database. Direct entry into SQL Server database. Some of the employee also work in Excel file to perform some data entry operation. So now we have two sources, Excel file and SQL Server. Third is what? They also have a particular sensor in a company which captures some details about moving devices and moving vehicles or something like this. This data was captured by what? Let's suppose by some sensor devices. So third data source. Next, They basically also get some data online and with the help of let's just suppose some tools might be CRM, SharePoint, right? So they are also capturing data into these devices like SharePoint and CRM. Now we have multiple type of data store, multiple format of data store. What is the job of data engineer? They have to extract data. This problem is called data silo. Data silo means what? Data is getting stored in multiple location, multiple format. So we have to first extract data from all these 5 or 6 places, 7 places, 9 places, 10 places, depends upon the number of sources. Now you have to take that data into a centralized data warehouse. Data warehouse is a location where we have to make a data model in a kind of way which will be helping the end user for performing business analysis. This is not an easy job, guys, because even the creation of data warehouse can take 5 months, 6 months, or up to 1 year. It depends how complex your data is. Third, we have to perform ETL operation. ETL stands for extract, transformation, and load. So first, we have to extract data from these data sources. If data is not correct, as I told you last time, there might be possibility we have duplicate value here, right? There might be possibility that value is null in one of the column, blank, mistakenly. There might be a possibility that we have got some wrong keyword in the picture, which let's say email ID, right? So email ID must contain what? A direct sign, but some of the signs were missing, right? So it is also your responsibility to clean the data as per the business rules, integrate data, and then putting the data into the warehouse and then automate this whole operation. So this operation is synchronized in a way the data gets extracted, transformed, and loaded into the data warehouse on a fashion basis. It can be per day, it can be per week, it can be per hour, totally depends upon the requirement. If you want to become a data engineer, guys, you should be having excellent knowledge in databases. I would say SQL Server and Oracle. You should be having good idea about what business logic, and you have to learn some good tools for data engineering like ETL tool. It might be SSIS, it might be Informatica, but guys, these tools like SSIS something are on-premise tools. As I discussed last time, we have got cloud technology very popular in the last few years. So if you really want to go to the next, I would say, generation, you have to learn some tools which are from the cloud. It might be Data Factory from Azure. It might be AWS Glue from AWS. So these tools will be helping to extract data from different sources and putting the data into the cloud, not on the on-premises, right? Third is data scientist. Now, data scientist is the kind of person who need to make intelligent decision and put intelligent algorithm. So data should be providing you the answer for the future also, right? So in this way, just for example, let's just suppose we know that in 2020 we have got COVID situation, right? In that situation, suppose we have got different kind of data from different countries about the COVID situation. So when we have got data for the last, let's say suppose 10 months or 11 months, if I want to make a prediction based on this data for a particular country, for a particular country, for a particular state, and we have to put multiple assumptions over there. Okay, we have got, let's say suppose 2% or 3% new patient every particular day, every particular month. But we have also got 0.5% patient who were basically cured by some vaccines or something like this. So we have to put different aspect with the help of some different algorithm. And with the help of that, we can get a future prediction. Hey, this might be the possibility for the next 6 months. This might be a possibility for the next 10 months in this particular state of entry. So guys, these algorithms are not simple to write, right? So we have to learn some typical Python stuff, right? And different libraries of Python to become more expert on which side, data scientist side, machine learning, if I'm talking about, right? Next is data architect. Now, this is a kind of role which will take some 6 to 7 good years to become a good data architect, right? So when we are putting the data into the data warehouse is not a small structure. It contains hundreds and thousands of tables in there, right? How to arrange those tables, how to basically put the right information to this table is very crucial, right? So until I'm not creating a proper data model for my company, I cannot perform proper ETL operation putting the data into the data warehouse. So data architect is the person who is helping me to design a model in a proper manner for a very big company where we have hundreds and thousands of tables available, right, for storing the data. Next is BI developer. BI developer is called business intelligence developer. So BI developer basically is a person who must be having good idea about the Power BI dashboard tool with some good knowledge about SQL Server, right? So if you have good knowledge of SQL Server, Oracle, and other databases along with the Power BI, and you basically have also some creativity of making reports in dashboards, you can become a good BI developer. Statistician, right? These are the person who work in support role in the data analytics. So these are the person who have excellent knowledge of statistics, which help data scientist, data engineer to put a right formula in the picture. So we are getting right statistics of the data. And with the help of this data and answers, we can provide right answer to my client also, right? So every role basically is very much different if I'm talking about. And some of the roles are very much, I would say, I would say not very much easy. We require good understanding of programming languages, good understanding of machine learning algorithms, good understanding of the data transformation activities, and then we have to learn a particular tool so I can become an analyst or engineer or scientist or an architect, right? Future. So expert predicts that by 2020, 90% of all enterprise workload will be deployed in cloud. Although guys, we have got 12 good years, 11, 12 good years. Even if I'm talking about the Microsoft Azure, it was introduced in 2008, right? But since last 10 to 12 years, we have got a huge inclination towards the cloud computing, right? So if I talk about the cloud computing, you might have heard about the Microsoft Azure, you might have heard about the AWS. Now we have also got GCP in the picture, Google Cloud Platform, and some other cloud platform like Oracle, Informatica Cloud are also there, right? So guys, still there are lots of different companies, state client I'm talking about in US. So in US we have the state, local market and federal market, right? So guys, our company also work in the state and federal market. And we are getting different kind of problem from different client that their data architecture is 8 to 9 years old. That is now basically going through the end of the age, right? It is getting stored, data is getting stored on premises. Now, what's the on premise? On premise means what? All these servers and every single database is stored in the company itself. Problem is what? So, suppose if you have a particular server in your company, um, there might be a possibility after 2 years we have to upgrade our server with new hardware, right? So problem is what? You have to constantly upgrade your hardware in the server to make sure that it is meeting the demand of the future, correct? Second is what? You have to also maintain the server. Maintain is what? If you have a server in a company, there might be a possibility on a particular day my server stop working. If my server stop working, all the clients who are connected to that server will not be able to access information, right? Then you are in the backup server? No. But if you are in the backup server, you have to put more expenditure on your resources, correct? Third problem is what is scalability. Scalability in sense, suppose your server capacity is 20 terabyte, right? There might be a possibility that your company is making good growth, right? And we had to also upgrade our size, our this database size, right? Time to time. Right now, it's 20 terabyte, it can become 40 terabyte, it can become 100 terabyte, right? The scalability will also always be there if your company is growing in market, right? Problem is what? This kind of architecture became very obsolete and very expensive. So what cloud computing offer? Cloud computing says, hey, you can create a server in cloud and we can provide you all the scalability, elasticity as per the requirement. You do not have to worry about the maintenance. We will maintain your server. We will take that application. We will do the backup. Your server will work 24 by 7. All what you have to do, you have to pay a fixed amount to us on monthly basis. Amount decides on what? The capacity of the server, right? That if we need 100 terabyte database, we have to pay, let's say, $50 per month, right? If somebody wants to go for 4 virtual CPU, he has to pay $20 per month. If I want 8 virtual CPU, I have to pay $40 per month. So it depends upon what kind of capacity you want to build in the cloud. You have to just pay a particular rental fee and they will make sure your server is running 24 by 7, 365 days. So guys, by 2030, if I'm talking about, 90% of the enterprise workload will be deployed in the cloud because nobody want to, um, I would say, take any kind of a problem or any issue in the on-premise architecture and maintenance activity. Nobody want to handle it, right? What they want to make sure that their ongoing operation should be very smooth and all the servers, complexity, data should be handled by the cloud. So they can only worry about what? Their business operation, right? That's why cloud is getting very popular. The projected business intelligence analyst job growth rate is 21% from 2020 to 30, right? So guys, still, as I told you that there are multiple organizations in US in the local market, universities, healthcare organization who are still working on the on-premise databases, right? And I'm talking about the US right now, not other countries. So still they are basically looking for a kind of option where they can move their data from on-premise system to the cloud so it can be maintained properly, secured properly, and we can get unlimited scalability for the future without any problem. So if I talk about the salary structure, it has been really increased from like 10% the last 5 years, right? And again, when you learn more AI tools, machine learning algorithms, right? Cloud computing, your growth can be what? I would say exponential. What kind of skills you should be having for data analytics? As we discussed, if you want to become a good data analyst, right, you should be having good statistical knowledge. If you have a right idea about which business formula we have to put in the statistics, right, programming language. If you want to go in which direction, data scientist, if you want to become a data scientist, right, then if you have a good knowledge about the programming language, that will be very beneficial for you. Data visualization. If you want to become a data analyst, you are saying, hey, Nitin, I'm not that good in programming, right? Do we have any option? Yes. You can learn some tools like Tableau and Power BI with some formulas that are present in those tools to make sure that you are providing a right dashboard to the client with the right business formulas. So you can go for that also. Database management. I would say this is the core thing, guys. So whether you want to become a data analyst, data scientist, data engineer, you should be having at least good idea about what one database, at least one database, right? So there are multiple database vendors in the market. We have Oracle, right? We have SQL Server, we have PostgreSQL, we have MySQL, IBM DB2. So multiple tools are available. So I would say learn and make and get expertise at least in one tool to make sure that from here onwards you can decide I want to become uh, more in what in the cloud. I want to go more and become data visualization. I want to become a data scientist, right? Something like this. Cloud computing. So, guys, as we discussed in the last slide, 90% of the workload by 2030 will be in the cloud. So, guys, right now, all the organization, companies, banks, I would say and healthcare, municipalities, as we discussed for the US market, they want to get rid of the older architecture and they want to move forward with the cloud. Why? First, because it provides maintenance-free environment. You do not need to take care of any replication, backup, recovery of any data in server. All things will be taken care by the cloud, right? So, cloud also provide the option to store data, make data warehouses, and perform ETL operations, right? Microsoft Azure, AWS also provide the facility to utilize AI. So, if I talk about the AWS, we have SageMaker. You might have heard about it. That provide the AI facility, right? So these facilities are also available in the cloud computing. With the help of these tools, you are able to provide the generative AI concepts and other different kind of open AI concepts to the client by utilizing the data in a more simpler way by just writing a plain English text and getting the answers. So if you want to go that route, you have to learn cloud computing, guys. Domain knowledge. So domain depends upon if you have worked in in a particular domain. So if I talk about our company, CCS Global Tech, right? We have a division called Helm 360, and we provide services to legal domain, law firms, right? So guys, we have got very much expertise on the law firms. We also make some software for these law firms, and we have got really good business use cases. So if I talk about the last 27 years, this company have provided different kind of services to law firms across US and UK, right? So the same use cases we used to employ in our training program to make sure that you also have good domain knowledge along with what technical knowledge, communication skills, right? So if you really want to interact with any client to understand their problem, their pain points, right? What they are looking for, what is expected from them, right? Definitely we should be having good communication skills, correct? So guys, we are basically offering you a data analytics bootcamp, right? Which will be helping you to provide different benefits. So we are providing real life project situation, right? This bootcamp will prepare you for a job in today's market with the help of some tools that we have discussed in our slides. We have certified instructors in different technology like Microsoft, um, AWS, Snowflake. That will be helping you to basically get expert on these tools. So, team-based learning. We will place you in a real team working on a real project for one of the client. After graduating, your career can be up and running from day one if you basically in the right direction. And we provide the in-depth learning experience you have been looking for, right? So this bootcamp will offer you different kind of tools and technology that I will discuss with you in next slide. So guys, as I told you, whether you want to become a data analyst, you want to become a data scientist, you want to become a data engineer, you want to become a data architect, we have to learn at least one good database, right? So guys, our training program is based on Microsoft technology. So we will provide you knowledge in what? Microsoft SQL Server, in-depth knowledge on database programming. Second is data warehouse. So guys, although I'm not sure that how much you're comfortable between database and data warehouse, but these two are very different things. So data warehouse is a kind of, I would say, repository where you are storing and aggregating data from different sources, but in a different format. So this format can be utilized later on by some reporting or AI tool. So the client can get the right answers. SSIS, it is an ETL tool. This tool helps us to connect multiple data sources, transform and standardize the data, and putting data into the proper warehouse. Okay. Azure data ecosystem. So right now, guys, as we discussed, on-premise technology are basically no longer viable, right? And in the future, you can see all the workload will be in the cloud. So we offer the complete learning of data ecosystem of the Azure with the help of Data Factory, Synapse Data Warehouse, Data Lakehouse, and Fabric environment. Similarly, if I'm talking about the AWS, It is a different cloud computing environment which help to get data again from again I'm talking about the data ecosystem right now. So AWS Glue, it helps us to perform ETL operation, S3 bucket, storage option, RDS, database, Redshift is data warehouse, right? Power Platform. So guys, Power Platform consists of Power BI, Power Apps, and Power Automate. These two will be helping you to provide a business intelligence solution to the client. Snowflake data warehouse. So guys, this warehouse also became very popular in the last couple of years, and we also provide training program on this Snowflake data warehouse. Python. If you want to become a data scientist, right, and you have gone through some programming language like Java, C, C++, C Sharp earlier, I would say you can learn Python. And again, this is not basic Python I'm talking about, that we will provide you all the knowledge and advanced libraries of the Python. So you can become AI ML expert, right? Open AI integration. Right now, Python, Azure, all, if you go to libraries, they provide open AI integration. So if you go to the ChatGPT model 4.0, 5.0, all the open AI integrations provided with the help of the different libraries. And if you go to Azure, and if you even just go to Google and type Azure OpenAI, right, you can find good 7 to 8 tools which are based on the OpenAI system in Azure that we can utilize. So how to utilize those tools, that we can also provide knowledge on this part and complete training. Okay. What are the key elements of the bootcamp, guys? Instructor-led training, right? So basically, we provide not any kind of training which is from video or something. We will provide you complete instructor-led training, right? We will offer you real-time projects from the domain, legal domain, as we discussed, that our company basically is dealing with the legal firms and law from the last 27 years. And you will having good knowledge on this part. We'll be having regular assignments and quizzes, right, as a part of a bootcamp program that will be helping you to understand concepts more better. Mock interviews. Every week we have at least one mock interview per candidate from trainers, so we can understand that how much knowledge you have grabbed from the instructor, right? Scenario preparation. Now, if you're going for the interview, what's the most important thing, guys? We should be having good projects in our hand, right? So, if I want you to make sure that you're comfortable in healthcare domain, you're comfortable in legal domain, right? So we'll prepare you for a scenario. Scenario means what? We will give you a case study. Just for example, let's say there's a legal firm, law firm, which have multiple lawyers and they have multiple client. Those clients basically have multiple use cases. So we have to store data from all those clients into a warehouse and analyze all the KPI for the consultant, right? So we'll give you different scenario on healthcare, insurance, and legal domain to make sure that if you're going for the interview, you can present the example with confidence on the domain. Okay. Soft skills. Apart from that, we have some instructors available that will provide you soft skills training. So apart from technical knowledge, the communication, presentation, and the way you're going and presenting you in the interview is very important, right? Session with the CCS alumni and industry expert. So we have got n number of alumni who are working on different project right now, guys, on different client. So we will time to time we basically conduct a TED talk to all of you from those experts, right? And domain training from the legal firm side. So these are some key elements of the bootcamp program. So guys, once you have gone through this complete training program, which you have seen, which contain database programming, which contain ETL tools, which contain Azure data ecosystem, which contain AWS data ecosystem, which contains Snowflake data warehouse, which contain Python, OpenAI integration, Power Platform. So if you have gone through too many things, right? So what you will become? You will become confident, you will become knowledgeable. Apart from that, we also encourage you to gain certification on those technology, right? So you will become proficient in designing basic to advanced level data engineering, and visualization application using cutting edge technology. You have hands-on expertise, experience with the tools of the trade, exposure to real-time project scenarios. You will get professional resume with the data engineering, data analytics skills, and you will be completely transformed. I would say I'm 100% sure your personality will be 360-degree changed once you have gone through this particular syllabus. So this is something from my side. I know the 1 hour is not very much sufficient to provide you all the knowledge on every single tool, every single technology. But still, I try to give you some overview of our training program and technology and the importance of data analytics, right? So yeah, I'm done. Thank you very much. If you have any question, please feel free to put into the chat.
Thank you, Nitin. Thank you, Nitin, for your time and the wonderful session. I would like to remind all attendees that our chat box is open. Please feel free to post your questions there. So I'm expecting the number of questions I'm getting. So the chat box is completely open. Please post your question or any doubts or if you want to ask anything. So within 2 minutes, we can wait till 2 minutes. Nitin, it looks like there is no question from anybody. So, when it comes to
Perfect.
upskilling and
Mhm.
reskilling, the CCS Learning Academy is designed to be your organizational secret weapon. Our network of talented and passionate instructor is ready and waiting to work directly with you, your team, or your entire company. If you are new to the IT field or you are a seasoned professional or you're looking for the job or upskilling or upgrading yourself in education, then our certification courses and boot camp program, especially in data analytics boot camp, would help you to get the particular jobs into the IT industry, especially in data analytics or data science. On behalf of the CSS Learning Academy, and Nitin, we again thank you for your time and this wonderful session. And again, I'm I'm thank you. And again I'm thanks to everyone who joined the today's session. I'm looking forward to join you in future session as well. So stay safe out there. And I also given my email ID, my mobile number, and the LinkedIn ID. So in future, if you want to ask anything or who are going for the bootcamp program, you can reach out to us. So we will definitely will help you to for the registration and for the next process. Thank you so much.